Hello, Brad Breeding here with myLifeSite, and I want to talk to you about something today that I wish everybody understood, but surveys show that a lot of people still don't. And what I'm talking about is Medicare, and more specifically, what does Medicare cover or not cover when it comes to long-term care? Now, the first thing I would mention is that there's sometimes confusion between Medicare and Medicaid. So just very briefly, Medicaid is a government safety net program for people that have essentially exhausted their assets or are, for the most part, financially destitute. So when we talk about long-term care, Medicaid in that situation will often pick up the cost. But what we're talking about today is Medicare. Now, Medicare is, for doctor's visits, medical care, hospital care, etc. And one of the things that I want to make very sure that people understand is that Medicare does not cover non-medical related care services. When I say non-medical care services, what I'm talking about is mostly assisted living or supportive living types of services. So if somebody needs help with the daily activities of living, bathing, dressing, eating, etc., that is not going to be covered by Medicare because it's not considered medical care. That's the most important thing that I want to point out first of all. And by the way, for those that have long-term care insurance, that's what that will pick up since Medicare does not cover it. But what about care in, say, a nursing home or a skilled nursing facility where there is some medical care provided or rehab care and things of that nature? Well, in that case, Medicare will pay potentially some of the cost of that care. Now, here's how that works. Medicare may pick up the full cost for the first 20 days. Now, they may not. It depends on whether they deem that to be necessary care and so forth. That's kind of a whole different story, but they may cover the full cost for the first 20 days. So what happens after 20 days? Well, if Medicare is still involved at that point, then it goes to more of a copay or a cost share, where Medicare will pay some of that monthly cost, 70% or so, and Medicare may pick up the other 30%, and it may not always work out exactly like that, but that's a reasonable sort of estimate of how that cost share may work. Now, after that additional 80 days, 100 days total, at that point, Medicare does not cover anything else. So the resident is on their own in terms of paying for care if they are in a skilled nursing facility for longer than 100 days. So that's when it becomes a private pay type of situation at that point, unless they end up, again, on Medicaid later on because they exhaust their assets paying for care. So really, Medicare, when we're talking about skilled nursing care, it's really meant for short-term or rehab type of care. And so that's why it really only goes out those 100 days. And I want to emphasize again, there is no guarantee that Medicare will pay for the full 100 days. There's no guarantee they'll pick up that full cost for the first 20 days. It really depends on whether they determine that that person is still in need of those services. If they don't feel like they are, then that's where there's a discussion about discharge planning and where that person will go from there. Now, this is the last point I want to make, and it may be the most important point to understand. And I'll go into more detail on this in a future video. But one thing to know is that if Medicare does cover the cost of care in a skilled nursing facility, that stay in that facility must be preceded by a 3-day hospital stay that took place within 30 days of the move into the nursing home, and the care that's received in the nursing home must be a result of whatever that occurrence was, the accident or illness or whatever that triggered the hospital stay. So that's one of the requirements among several others, again, that I'll cover in a future video. Thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, found it helpful, I hope you'll give us a thumbs up and a like. And of course, if you want to see more videos like this, short bite-sized nuggets on senior living and closely related topics, then please click subscribe or follow so you'll be notified when new videos come out.